Welcome back, guys. So after we have extracted the data from LinkedIn, the next important step before we actually go out and start, nurturing this data, start reaching out to people based on this data, is creating the content, right? The content is the next big step that we have to do before the nurturing process. So next thing is content. Okay, we need to create content. Now let's look at what are the things that we need to do to create content. So for creating the content, it's very important to establish a content template sheet. Okay, a content template sheet. So we'll look at this sheet in detail. Now this content template sheet, guys, generally should have few important tabs. What are those tabs? The very first tab that this content template sheet should have is called the documents tab. Okay, the next thing that it should have is the LinkedIn tab, the LinkedIn content tab. Okay, when we create the LinkedIn sequences, we look at this in in a while. Then after that, we should have email tab. Tab should be SMS content tab in case we want to create SMS content as well. Correct. Then similarly to SMS content, you can also say that uh, if these days we want to create content for reaching out to people on WhatsApp, we can have a WhatsApp content tab as well. And finally, I generally do this is I create an ID and password tab. I'll show you why and why it is important. So all of these stuff can go in a single content template sheet. Okay, let's look at this content template sheet in detail. So this is the content template sheet. Okay, you can create a content template sheet like this, and you see that this tab: documents tab, email tab, LinkedIn tab, WhatsApp, SMS, and ID and password tab, right? So first, a very important tab which is called a documents tab. Now, documents tab is a tab where you will add all the relevant details of your company that might be required either by your lead nurturing team or your you know lead finding team or your pre-sales team or your sales team or your post-sales team, right? So all the important content required by them related to your company should go into the documents tab. Now these are not limited to, let's say, the calendar link or a calendly link, the product deck, the case study, the YouTube links. If there are lead nurturing steps, finding steps and documents that you have created for your own company, that should also be there. The service flow chart, what exact services you provide. Now all of this enables and helps even the guy who's creating messages for you on LinkedIn, or the guy who's replying and responding to the clients on LinkedIn on your behalf. So all of this is so important. Okay, even the quotations, as for that matter, right? If you have any training videos, documents, any client demos or samples, or any exact sales pitch that you need to do, all of that should be present here, right? Along with the FAQs. Why? The reason is this will save you a ton of time. Yes, guys, this will save you tons and tons of time. And believe you me, guys, this will take away, that a designation that all of us wear without knowing about it. It's called Chief Follow-up Officer, right? All of you will stop being a Chief Follow-up Officer, and a lot of your daily time will be saved. Okay, please make sure that you establish the document tab, add all the relevant important links and necessary documents here, and then you see the magic happening into your life. Okay, you'll see a lot of, you'll start getting a lot of time for a lot of doing important things, okay, for your business. So it's very important that this document tab not only helps you okay, save time, but also organizes your sales team, lead nurturing team. Very important. Okay, once you establish this tab, all the important relevant documents and details are here. The next thing that you should do is to create the LinkedIn sequences. Okay, LinkedIn sequences. Now let's look at this one by one. The very first message. So whenever you send a connection request to people on LinkedIn, you have an option to send an add note. An add note, when you send an add note to people on LinkedIn while sending a connection request, you have the option to enter 300 characters. Yes, 300 character length is what has been given by LinkedIn. So what you can do is, before even you start the reach out process, it is very important that first to figure out your ideal target audience profile, right? Based on the ideal target audience profile, you just write the ideal target audience profile on the top here, like in C1, similarly in F1, right? And for that specific ideal target audience profile, create sequences. Like, what is the first add note that you will send to them, right? Write that add note sequence here. And in case they accept your connection request and they do not respond to the add note that you have sent, what is the first follow-up message that you should send to this person. Okay. Now, in case again, even after sending this follow-up message, the person has not replied to you, then what is the second follow-up message that you should send to this person? Similarly, third and fourth, right? So you can have at least 3 follow-up messages and 1 ad note, which is 4 messages per cold LinkedIn reach out. Okay, only in case they accept your connection request. So very, very, very important that all of you should map out your ideal target audience profile. Write the ideal target audience profile name here. Right, one of the target profile, like I mentioned here, could be reaching out to digital marketers. Right, digital marketers is a target audience profile. Second could be, let's say, reaching out to founders. Right. Third could be reaching out to, let's say, purchase managers or vice president business. Right? All of you to whom you reach out to and who falls in that category or bucket, the content or the message that you will tell these people will be different for each of these scenarios, right? Depending on what exactly, how do you want to approach and tell these guys, please make sure that you start writing these sequences before even you reach out. Okay, is that clear? So all of you should make sure that you write these sequences down. And also, while writing these sequences, it is important to define the days. Now, what exactly is these days? Day 0 means the day on which you're sending the connection request to people on LinkedIn, right? Along with the ad note. Now here I've written 1, which signifies that if I have sent a connection request to someone on LinkedIn today and they have accepted it, in case today or tomorrow, I will at least wait 1 day post their acceptance to send them a follow-up first message. Okay. 3 means that I will wait for 3 days, right, from the first day of acceptance to send them the second message. Similarly, 5 days would mean that, right? So similarly, you can define your own number of days as to how many days you are willing to wait for the customer to respond to your previous message, so that you can hit the customer up, client up again with the second message. Okay, so this is how you should structure it. Now, what exactly should go inside this content is very, very, very important. Okay, now generally, at this level, there are 2 ways in which you can reach out to people. Okay, either you can directly be a salesperson, or become a either you can approach something called a sales approach, wherein you are directly going in with the connection request sent, and then telling the customer, hey, look, I provide this services, and do you want this service from me? Correct? Or I think that you are a relevant person for this service. So this is called a direct sales approach, wherein then you pick up one USP, in the ad note you add that USP. If the person accepts, the person will only and only accept your connection request in that case when they see your LinkedIn profile, find out, okay, this guy is something that can, person who can provide me this exact service that he's talking about, and it can help me in my business, and he's also directly approaching for sales, right? No nonsense person, let me talk to this guy. That works sometimes. And second is called sensitizing approach. Sensitizing approach means that you are directly not pitching your products and services to a customer, right? You are sensitizing the person about what you do. Okay. Now this generally works in when you're reaching out to another industry leader from the same industry and you are an industry leader, right? Or when you are the both level, when you're reaching out to the person, you guys are at the same level, right? And you're just reaching out to the person saying, hey, look, I'm also from this industry, and this is what I do, or here is the article which I found really interesting about this industry, and this should definitely be interesting to you, and you send that article link to him, right? So you're trying to add value. Sensitizing approach means adding value to your potential client before you actually end up telling him or her about what exactly you sell. Okay, that is what sensitizing approach means, in which for message 1 you give a value added content, message 2 give a value added content, and message 3 certainly you can introduce that, hey, look, I hope you have gone through these 2 contents when they've accepted your request, and this would have definitely helped you. By the way, this is also that we do, which is related to these specific topics. Are you interested? You get what I'm saying? So this is exactly what you have to do when you're doing a sensitizing approach. And the sales approach, this is perfectly fine. You can do that as well, right? So there's no approach is wrong, guys. You can pick the approach depending on the industry that you are in, and basis this approach, please go ahead and create at least 2 content pieces per target profile. Okay, based on an ideal persona, create 1 sales approach, create 1 sensitizing approach content. Okay, 4 messages each for each target profile, and test it out on LinkedIn that which works. Okay, you will be surprised to see sometimes for 1 target profile the sales pitch works, sales approach works really well, and for sometimes the sensitizing approach works really well. So Guys, there's no ideal formula, okay, and there's no ideal fix for every single target profile, okay. Please remember this, that if a sales approach has worked for one target profile, it may not have worked for the other target profile. Similarly, if the sensitizing approach has worked for one target profile, it may not usually work for the other as well, okay, or might take a long time to give results. So this is very, very important that all of you should remember when you are dealing and with this content creation in terms of LinkedIn sequences. Similarly to LinkedIn sequences, then you can go to the email tab and create email sequences similarly for your target persona profiles as well, right? And same thing for SMS and WhatsApp as well. The only thing, the beauty about email is there is no limit, there is no content, there is limit on the content that you can use, correct? Similarly goes with WhatsApp as well, and as well as SMS as well. SMS, depending if you're in India, there's 70 characters that you can use, 140 characters per message that you can use. But before reaching out using SMS and WhatsApp for reaching out the lead nurturing process, please make sure that you know that you are okay reaching out to your target audience on SMS and WhatsApp, because you are indirectly reaching out into the personal space. Okay, and ID and password tab, basically all the different tools that you log in, you can save the ID and password in one single tab shared across your company if they are public available thing across the company. Okay, so this is the very, very important content template sheet that all of you need to create before we head directly into the lead nurturing process. Okay, amazing. I will leave a link of this content template sheet as well in below this video. You can go ahead, download this sheet and start working on the same.